So Jonathan, last time we were speaking, we heard a little bit about your career up to now, and now I thought it'd be really interesting to hear about your thoughts about prep schools. What do you think really characterises an excellent prep school?
I think an excellent prep school, as soon as you walk through the door, you know that the children are happy. They're engaged in learning, but fundamentally they're happy. And what I mean by happy is not the idea of being the opposite of a Shakespearean character creeping like snail unwillingly to school. It's not that. It's not things being okay. It's things being brilliant. That children should have woken up first thing that morning thinking, oh great, I'm going to school today and we're going to do such and such. Or Mrs. So-and-so said, because we finished our maths yesterday, we're going to have a special treat today and we're going to start our new book, or whatever it might be. It's children who are loving the place where they go to school and actually knowing how lucky they are to attend that institution. It's them physically thriving, loving going to school, loving the learning process.
I absolutely agree with you. I think happiness is so important. And then beyond happiness, what would you be looking for next?
I think the answer to that question is probably diversity, and diversity in everything. Primary education being the time when children have a chance to explore the widest possible of opportunities available to them, to have a practice at everything, to give everything a go, not to be worried if things go wrong, not to be worried if they try something and think they don't like it. That's absolutely fine because they now know they don't like it rather than just thinking they might not like it. So they develop their love of activities, they develop their passions, they learn with others, they build their collaborative skills. They're in a learning community and a place where they can come to be themselves, to develop, to grow in the widest sense of the word.
And I think that's so important. But then thinking ahead to moving on to senior schools, how do those types of things fit with a sort of, I suppose, a traditional or a prep school curriculum?
Ah, that's interesting, isn't it? And I think that comes down to diversity again. And in the years where I've been teaching, I think particularly within the maintained sector and with the external forms of accountability that are now inflicted on the maintained sector, the primary curriculum can often become very narrowed. It can be just maths and English and maybe some other things, names of other things, but actually they're almost wolves in sheep's clothing. It's disguising extra maths by putting it under another name, or extra English under another name. And that's not what primary education should be. Of course, there should be maths every day. Of course, there should be English every day. Of course, there should be a significant amount of that. But once children have done that, that's enough. And one of the best things about the independence of independent schools is that the teachers can plan a curriculum that starts with each and every child, starts with where they are at any particular time in their development, emphasizes their interests, their passions, the things that really make them tick, and do that in a broad and balanced way. So at least once a week, there should be history, there should be geography, there should be languages, there should be lots of sport, there should be cookery, there should be pastoral matters, there should be science, there should be as many different things going on within that curriculum as the school can fit in, because that's where children thrive, that's where children become the people they are destined to be. So it's as far away from the bureaucracy and box ticking that can characterize some forms of education. You make sure you have a professional team teaching the children, you make sure they know where the children need to be, and then when you've got that, you emphasize the enthusiasm, the passion for learning in the widest sense. And of course, you remember that skills matter just as much as content, because ultimately these children are going to be doing jobs, the vast majority of them will be doing jobs in their adult lives that don't even exist yet. So how they work is just as important, if not far more important, than what they're actually working at. So they've got to be literate, they've got to be numerate, they've got to be well educated and knowledgeable, but they've got to have those interpersonal skills, they've got to have those intrapersonal skills, and they've got to have all those talents, all that enthusiasm. It's the St Swithun's word flourish, and I think flourish sums it all up beautifully in just one word.
I mean, that sounds like a fabulous sort of 11-year-old by the time they leave the prep school. Are there any other characteristics that you think a sort of graduate of St Swithun's Prep will have?
Okay, I think it's 3 times on the trot, but I'm going to say diversity to you again there, because they're going to be themselves, whoever they are, and they're going to be proud to be themselves. They're not going to want to be a stereotype. They're not going to want to have an idea of what is cool and then try to follow that sense of coolness. They'll be different from each other, but they'll know that's the greatest thing about being a human being. Nobody is a clone of somebody else. They are proud to be themselves, and they're confident to articulate their own beliefs and their own attitudes towards life in general. But I think they will have some characteristics in common, just like happiness. That's fundamental to everything. Confidence is fundamental to everything, and so is being articulate. They've got to be sure of themselves. They know that the world lies in front of them. They can be whoever they want to be, and they can do whatever they want to do. No one should stop them, and no one should even try.
I think that's brilliant. And actually the idea of a quiet self-confidence fits really well with one of the founding values of the senior school, which is sinceritas. So you've mentioned confidence. Tell me a bit about why you think that's so important.
I've got a little word equation that for 10 years has sort of been the strapline of the school I lead at the moment. And that's that confidence plus happiness equals success. And again, I think this is somewhere where the independence of the sector in which we work really enables us to make a difference, because we can offer children a chance to shine wherever their talents lie. So it might be in the classroom, it might be in their maths and English, but there's any number of other places where they can shine with us as well. They can shine on the sports field, whatever sport is their passion. They can shine in the swimming pool, they can shine in a formal, traditional, independent girls' school sport like lacrosse. If their talent is lacrosse, they can play lacrosse. But if they want to play football, if they're girls' football fans, we can organise sports fixtures for them in football. We can do whatever they want to do, whatever they want to explore. And of course, their talent might not just shine there. It might be in a theatre, it might be in a studio. I think in a well-rounded education, arts are essential, and sometimes it seems to me a bit like a national disgrace that they can be sidelined. I do believe every child should have the right to learn a musical instrument, and every child should have their moment in the spotlight, because when they've had that moment in the spotlight and they get that applause for doing their best, that applause is invaluable to them in growing their faith in themselves and in telling them, yes, they could do it on the stage, they can also do it in a maths book, they can also do it in their geography project, whatever it might be, they gain that belief in themselves. So confidence and happiness, I think they're at the heart of everything.
I absolutely agree with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.